Coach, thanks for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the win against SMU, maybe a word or two about Dane Evans' performance, then what you expect to see Friday as you head to UCF, please.
Well, it was good to get back on the winning track. I was very proud of the effort our players gave. Certainly, SMU came out and hit us very quickly with a touchdown pass on the very first play from scrimmage, and our defensively gave us a lot of challenges. But I was very proud after the first couple of series. Dane got in a rhythm, and I think at one point hit 10 straight, and got really outstanding performances from all of the receivers, but especially Karis Garrett and Kevin Lucas. So those all the young receivers and Dane as a sophomore quarterback, I think, is coming on and starting to play very well and giving us a chance. We'll have our hands full going down to Orlando, and certainly UCF is a very physical, well-coached football team. We've had a history of a lot of tough games with them over the years, but I think they're exceedingly well coached and disciplined, and it's a tough environment to go into, but it's something that our players and coaches are very excited about and hungry for.
Take questions for Coach Bill Blankenship, please. Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
Thank you. We'll go to Dan Tortera with Dan Tortera Broadcast and Media.
How you doing today, Coach?
Good, Dane. Or Dan, I'm sorry. Yeah. Had Dane on the brain there. Yeah.
That's all right. Hey, if I'm compared to him, I'm okay with that. But first win in 8 games came against Southern Methodist. Just what your takeaways were. I mean, obviously SMU hasn't won a game this season, but you still, got a lot from them, 28 points from them. So what can you say about this win coming at this time in the season and what you were able to take away from it?
Well, we'd really challenged our squad and to not give in to the noise and the negativity. I think our team had continued to hang together and play hard and continued to grow. I think they still believe in each other and themselves. And the opportunity against SMU was one that we knew both of us would relish the opportunity to get back in the win column. And so I knew we would get their best shot, and they took advantage of the bye week and really got Matt Davis geared up at quarterback, and he was a handful for us. We had a really tough time tackling him. He kept a lot of plays alive, and I think was a real difference maker for SMU. But with that, we took some body shots and still didn't succumb. I thought that we played hard to the very end, and offensively ran the ball well. Dane certainly had a big day at the quarterback position, and we threw it and caught it very well. But Zach Langer also ran for 160-plus yards, and so that tells you a little bit that it felt like our offensive line was playing well, too.
And then as far as you talked about Matt Davis a little bit on the other side, between him and your quarterback, Dane, just what you were able to see from the both of them, because they both had strong days. You said it was hard to get after Davis, and then obviously your quarterback had some nice accolades coming out of this game.
Well, I think that was, again, we just struggled to tackle Davis. I mean, he just individually, made us look silly at times. I mean, his athleticism, on just the scrambles, they did have some called runs to him, certainly, and did that some and moved the chains with him. But I think most of our issues were trying to cover a good passing attack down the field, and then him have the ability to just pull it down and run. Dane, on the other hand, I think was what I appreciated about what he brought to the table this week is a very disciplined approach in terms of being able to check at the line of scrimmage into the looks that we needed him to. A couple of the touchdown throws were audibled by Dane, and so I think the thing is he's played enough now that he's beginning to see the field, and he's starting to get a confidence about him. And when he sees the matchups that he likes, he gets us into those looks.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to Shannon Owens-Green from the Orlando Sentinel.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi. Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. Good to talk to you again.
You too. These schools have had very intense matchups in the last 4 meetings. What do you think what is it about your coaching style and Coach O'Leary's coaching style do you think matches up so well?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't compare myself to Coach O'Leary in any way. I think that he is forgotten more football than I've learned, and we were fortunate in 2012 to have a very good football team and match up against them with a very good football team, and we got both of those at home. And in 07 and 08, I was part of a staff that we got it handed to us pretty good by UCF, and I just think that you look at what George has done there, and with his leadership, they're a very disciplined, well-coached football team, and they're not going to beat you. They're not going to beat themselves. You're going to have to go out and find a way to win the game because it's not going to get handed to you. I know that that's just been a signature. Some years they've been better than others, but that's just the way that they play. And I get through. I've got a day and a half of film of watching them so far. And again, other than probably the turnovers that are driving him crazy, I think they're still looking like the teams that I've seen in the past.
And given their performance at UConn, because I'm sure they would argue they beat themselves a lot at that game, do you
Right.
still, with your strong passing game, do you still feel that their defense is quite a threat?
Oh, absolutely. I think their defense is very formidable. I mean, they run to the football so well. They can get a pass rush. They will choose to blitz you on occasions, and against different opponents. They've been bringing a lot of heat on you, or trying to play coverage. And I think the secondary looks to be very solid too. So I haven't found too many weaknesses yet. So that's the point that we're still trying to study. But I think that's why they've won a bunch of games. I know they were not happy with how they played, but there were a lot of factors at Connecticut with the weather and like I said, the turnovers and those kind of things. So I'm confident with a bye week that Coach O'Leary has them honed in on Tulsa.
And finally, how would you describe the overall competitiveness of the American Conference this year?
That's the thing that I've been excited about. I thought coming into the league, it's the way I described it, or somebody described it for me, was that I like the fact that in football there's not that gorilla out there. That's not that King Kong that's kind of head and shoulders above everybody. Certainly UCF had that special year last year, but there's not been the one team that everybody just kind of has to yield to. By the same token, I think you go all the way top to bottom, I don't think there's any just pushovers. And so we knew coming into it that every week was going to be a battle for us, and that I think the depth of the quality and the depth of the American Conference is displayed, and probably even more so right now with as many teams as there are that are still with an opportunity to come out as conference champions. So, we're certainly not in that category, but I think that the one thing I've been proud of our players is we're gonna put up a fight, and I think we're getting better. I think we're a better team now than we were at the first of the year, and I think we're continuing to improve, and hopefully are still growing into being the team I think we can be.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And do we have any other questions for Coach Bill Blankenship, please? Star one on your telephone if so. Then, Coach, we will thank you for a few minutes today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right.